So this is part 2 of creating the arrow tip for the donut chart. What I would like to point out here or fix now is basically this. So if I refresh, you can see this very part here, which basically gives away the secret of what we're doing. So what I would like to do is fine tune that final part here to make sure that when we refresh, it still looks like an arrow here and everything works nicely. So let's start to do that one. So if you have not followed my previous video, check out here, this one. If you just want the source code of that, go here to patreon.com/chartjs. And of course, if you have a question, put it on Discord. All the links are in the description box. So what we're going to do now is a few things. Number one, let's first, if I refresh and pay attention, you can see here when this rotates, you can see this red line is already showing. That is because of the code we have here down with this wonderful setup. But I realize this setup is not necessary. So we're going to fix this. So what I'm going to do here now is just the following. I guess we could just grab this. I'm going to put it in here. And what I want to do here is create an if statement. And this if statement will just say if, we can just copy this code, but I will make an adjustment on that. If it is not equal to that. If that is the case, put it in here. We can draw this. Make sure the restore is outside of the if statement, because else you get a very weird effect. So we have this one here. Let's see what is going on here. There we are. So once we did this, we then next have to solve the one that if it is equal to this, what will we do? So I'm going to hide all of this. We don't need to use any of this border logic, but we need to preset some items. So let's save this first and refresh what we have. As you can see here, now this line here, the red line, is hidden. But since this is the very first item of our data point, we can just preset that already. Secondly, you can see here we have this white arrow shape. We could just create here that indented part of the arrow tip. So let's start to do those things. To do that, I have to go up, and we're going to make sure we are in this area, or even here, specifically here, at the translate but before the rotation. This one will be fixed position by default because we already know the exact position where it will start or end. It depends on how you look at it. Basically, it's at the very top. So what I'm going to do here is do an if statement. We say here if the index, and the index here we can borrow this one here, of course, is same equals data dot labels dot length minus 1. If it's like this, we're going to do here something very specific. So from here on, we will just create the shape. So basically, we need a lot of the same logic. I'll just say here ctx.begin path, because we're going to create a new shape. And then here, let's do ctx.line width, and then this will be equal to 2 pixels. And the reason why is later on we have the other shape that will rotate towards it, and that will be probably overlapping a little bit. So we're having this thickness of 2 to keep it again steady. So then the next thing what I want to do here is say ctx.stroke style. What's the color? We know the color, and the color is basically, well, we can just grab it from down. We can just grab a lot of these items here. Oh, I see here this is already, this should be all removed because it's just basically this one. We can just grab all of this, the border color. It is all double. Just make sure we delete all of the excess code. Then we're going to say here, this will be index 0. It is a fixed position, fixed color. So once we did that, then next we can say here now, ctx.fill style will be white because we're going to have a white color, or anything that your background is. If you have a different color here, match it with the background so it will blend in nicely. That's it. Makes all sense. So then what I want to do here now is start to draw the position. So I say here move to, and then we have here the move to, and then here X and Y. So what we're going to do here is I just will grab everything that we have here. I guess this will be our leading item. So let's grab this. Going to put that here up. But this one here needs to be changed because this right now is through the for each loop being calculated. So we can now create something, and that can be done outside of the for each loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all of this, center radius. Do I need the angle? I don't think so. We just only need these three. I'm going to grab these three. I'm going to put it in here. And then what I will do here is the following. We can just say here maybe radius 0. This is all 0. And then here, I'm just going to grab all of this data, put that in here, index 0, just basically this one here. So, and then we just say this 0. We can copy this, put it in there, and then we can say here outer radius 0 and inner radius 0 will give us, plus the inner radius 0 will give us center radius 0. All these can now be applied in here. So we say 0, 0, 0. So let's save this and see what we get. Oh, all right, we have a mistake here, so I'll just have to double check what's going on here. We can see here the inner radius. Where's the inner radius? This is the inner radius, and 0. Did I mistaken something? Radius, I think I misspelled it, or is it? Inner radius. The inner radius is, there we are. Why is it not working? Let's refresh that. 87. Am I correct? Inner radius is that data point. Oh, of course, my bad. Don't use the data point. I'm using this. The data point was the shorthand I was copying from here. Of course, that's not allowed. Remove that data point if you have them. Save, refresh. There we are. So as you can see here now, we already have the shape up and running, of course, with exception of the white space. So what I can do here, if I do a ctx.fill, probably will not work much. If I save that, as you can see here. All right, so it works quite decent. I'll just say here the following. I'm going to say here ctx.close path. So it will just close that shape. And then we draw the fill. All right, then what we can do here is move 1 pixel or 2 pixel, whatever that is, to the left side. So what I'm going to do is just going to copy this mirror reflection, and then we say instead of 1 we can do maybe -1, and then we don't need this center radius because all I want to do is from here just go up straight away, because this here will overlap on top of it anyway. So we don't have that problem of knowing when to draw it. This is the reason why I'm drawing it first, and the others will be drawn last or after this. So what I'm going to do now is we can just get this outer radius, put that outer radius here, give it a -1 as well, and see if that works. If that -1 is too much, we can put it back to 0. All right, and as you can see here, I feel like something is not quite right. We're slightly off. I wonder if it's maybe this 0, this item here. Do we really need that? I think that was last time to make it all perfect, to fix something, but no. All right, I'm surprised that we might need maybe additional. Instead of -1, let's do -2. All right, okay, so we are closing the path, but what is going on here? The closed path, my bad. You can see here, this is the problem. I'm using move to, that's not allowed. We need to do line to because we're creating a connecting line. I expect now if we have this, probably we will have now that, well, not really. So let's see if I need to put this here. Oh, and then I think here maybe a -2. -2, not really. All right, let me double check. So after some checking, I guess we can just remove this, but I do see my fatal flaw here. So I'm going to explain to you what I was saying about this closed path and all these lines. But you can see here is when I draw these lines here, that basically creates a closing path. I don't want the stroke lines to go further than this arrow shape here, and because I had these other two also being drawn, it starts to create some weird shape. So now there we are. All right, I think that looks quite good. Does it give any other issues? No. There we are. All right, that looks beautiful. So now we have these here, and I guess that will be the perfect item. We can now continue on with the animated tooltip, and that will be in the next video.